vaccines coming in. The World Health Organization hopes the pandemic will be over within 2 years. The weather, more showers with lighter winds over southern England, Wales and the west tonight. Clearer skies in Scotland and a low of 10 degrees.
LBC Travel, I'm Katie Tyler. A couple of clippings on the M25. Very slow clockwise from junction 5 of the M26 to the Clackett Lane services after a breakdown. And anti-clockwise, there are queues heading towards the Dartford Tunnel. In Hanwell, Uxbridge Road is shut in both directions between Eccleston Road and Church Road. It's because of an investigation taking place. On the tubes, there are severe delays on the District Line from Turnham Green to Richmond. The Piccadilly Line has no service from Acton Town to Heathrow. And the trains Greater Anglia have no service from Hackney Downs to Enfield Town or Cheshunt.
This is LBC. The B&Q 20% off interiors event is now on. That's 20% off selected flooring and Valspar paint mixing, 20% off cushions, curtains and rugs, 20% off. Make yourself at home. You can do it when you B&Q it. Selected products, exclusions apply. See in-store or DIY.com for details. Valid 21st to 31st of August. Subject to availability. LBC. Offices, restaurants, pubs. You need a sign-in app that's safe, simple and secure. You need Tap Visitor Book. 100% contactless, COVID safe, GDPR compliant and track and trace ready. All from less than £2 a day. Search Tap Visitor Book now or text radio to 86688.
Authentic Lebanese cuisine by Marouche. Exquisite comfort food. Our restaurants are open for takeaway and deliveries. Wherever you are, we'll try and get it to you. Call in, order through Uber Eats, Deliveroo and Just Eat. Enjoy legendary Lebanese food at home from Marouche. Fancy recreating your own dishes at home? Discover the authentic ingredients imported from Lebanon that we have available at marouche.com.
Say hello to summer data deals at Vodafone. Get the Samsung Galaxy S25G with double data. 48 gigabytes for the price of 24. For £51 per month plus £19 up front. Just one of the amazing offers in the Vodafone summer data deals. Switch to the UK's best mobile data network, online or in store. Ready? Vodafone.
Ends 3rd of September, 24-month plans. 5G subject to coverage. RPI increased credit check terms and reward verification apply. See vodafone.co.uk.
Hi, I'm Andy Byford, the new Commissioner of Transport for London. We're getting London moving again, with good service levels on tubes, buses and trains. But we do ask that you please travel outside the busier times, if you can, to help with social distancing. We're doing all we can to keep things safe, clean and organised. After all, we're here for all Londoners. To find out more, search TfL Restart Plan. To the Mayor of London and TfL, every journey matters.
How much money will you get when you sell your car?
7,000. 8,000.
8,500. 9,000 pounds. Wouldn't it be great if you could see offers from online buyers and specialist car dealers all in one place? Motorway.co.uk is the comparison site to sell your car. With Motorway, it's easy to compare offers and find your best deal. You could get up to £1,000 more. Go to motorway.co.uk, the easy way to sell your car for more. Motorway.co.uk. This is LBC with Andrew Pierce. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
So even supporters of the government would admit that the last week was a shambles over the A-level results. The government said they would not do U-turn. The Education Secretary Gavin Williamson, who is known less than affectionately by his colleagues as Frank Spencer. If you're old enough to remember Some Mothers Drove Him in the 1970s, he was that drippy character who got everything wrong, accident prone. He said there'd be no U-turn. And of course there was a U-turn, but it meant days and days of uncertainty and misery for kids. No word from the Prime Minister. Well, he's been found now. He's on holiday in Scotland. I defend his right to be on holiday. Of course he should go on holiday. He's had a tough year. It's a tough job, very demanding. He's had a new baby. Got a new dog. He's had coronavirus. He nearly died. And he's got a lot on his plate. I would argue, though, that he could have interrupted that holiday to at least try to empathise with those tens of thousands of young people whose university aspirations were shattered by the revelation that they'd been massively downgraded by something called an algorithm. The algorithm got blamed, but of course it's the people who program the algorithm who are to blame. They're the regulator called Ofqual. Apparently the Secretary of State for Education, Gavin Williamson, never bothered to get a trial run of how the algorithm would work, because all you would do is pick a couple of schools in different parts of the country, feed in their test results, and you would quickly have realised that there was going to be massive downgrading. buses. It's not difficult. Scotland isn't on the other side of the moon. That's what I would have done. What do you think? Maybe you think he shouldn't have gone on holiday at all. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email andrew@lbc.co.uk, or you tweet. You tweet at LBC. Let's go to LBC's Westminster correspondent Ben Kentish. Ben, Downing Street not happy that his holiday plans have been exposed like that, but you know and I know in previous years every Prime Minister would pose for one photograph right at the start of the holiday with their family, and then the press would clear off.
Yes, that's right, Andrew. It's normally seen as a way to give the media what they want, but as you say, it will effectively then telling them to properly disappear for the rest of the trip and not come back. Boris Johnson opting not to do that, continuing, it must be said, a trend when it comes to his family of absolutely refusing to comment or really be photographed with them, keeping everything very, very private. He absolutely stonewalled all questions really about his children, even little Wilfred. He's very uncomfortable saying more than everybody's happy and things are going well. He really doesn't like discussing it. He is quite a private man, actually, always has been in some senses, and is very uncomfortable with the public eye being portrayed and focused on his personal life. That said,
It's part of the job, isn't it?
That was the idea of having the photo at the start of the trip. So, it's a sort of recognition that you're a public figure, people are interested in what you're doing, you give them that little bit, and then they leave you alone for the rest of the week. That Number 10 have adopted, I think it's fair to say, in many ways, Andrew, quite a different approach to the media. From the start of this government, there's been a different approach, some might say a tougher approach when it comes to things like daily briefings with us Westminster journalists, and this perhaps the latest example of that approach. There are those in Number 10, I'm thinking of a particularly prominent advisor to Mr Johnson who aren't particularly receptive to the British press and believe that actually previous governments have focused too much on trying to keep happy.
You think must be cool. Are you possibly thinking about Dominic Cummings?
That was actually, funnily enough, Andrew, exactly what I was thinking.
That's the
You'd
man.
have to,
That's the
you'd
man
have to
who
search
drove.
too hard.
That's the man who
to find his
drove
comments.
30 miles from Durham to go to Barnard Castle. We all remember it, a beauty spot, because he wanted to test his eyesight. Most people would go to Specsavers or Dolan and Aitchison if they still exist, but he wanted to test his eyesight in his car. Our Number 10 hopping mad that we now know where he's been on holiday or where he is on holiday. Are they cross about this?
I don't think they're too happy about it, and they certainly would defend what they say the Prime Minister's right to privacy, to have a break, especially after the year he's had. Perhaps inevitably, I think no politician likes having those sorts of things photographed or in the papers, but as you say, to an extent, it's a tricky balance, isn't it? It's a juggling act, because of course they are a public figure. There is to some extent a public interest in knowing what they're up to, even when they are not necessarily standing in front of a podium in Downing Street. But yes, it's hard because Number 10 would say, well, you've got to balance that with their right to a private